Hello, my name is Kareem, and I want to share some information with you. Um, I've been doing this series on publishers, and this is the next part in that. But also, it's got a local twist to it because we got some things going on locally here in Oakland. So I usually separate those two things, but I'm going to unlock those other videos, the local stuff, and then also this one is going to be both. So that's what's up. That's what's going on. So let's jump right into it. So name some stuff, go through the curriculum choices. And this is a lot of this is local, and at the same time, man, this publisher, I gotta get him. I gotta get him. I gotta just name it because we getting bamboozled, fam. We getting bamboozled. So here we go. So first of all, get about what we demand. It's just this right here. These are the kids. 5% don't really need us. 25, 35% gonna learn to read any kind of way. You teach them whatever, you do a good job, they're gonna learn to read. All right. So when you hear people talking about, oh, there's more than one way to teach reading, that's these people talking right here. They went to school with that. They were kids who learned any old kind of way, different methods or whatever. And everything in our system is geared to these kids. They're the privileged. And they're also most of our current teachers right now, and principals and superintendents and chief academic officers. The whole system is set up for these kids. So the question is, what can we have? And the curriculum. I talk with CEO, two CEOs of publishers, and also then a couple more for curriculum creators, and then a couple of whistleblowers who came forward by email when they saw the last video. And they said, look, don't blame us. Our job is to satisfy shareholders, make profits. Our company's job is, right? It's $1 billion industry. And we give the school systems what they want, what they ask for, and they ask for this. Nobody's asking for stuff to help these kids. These are the bumper sticker kids. You put slogans about equity and stuff on your bumper sticker about these kids. But nobody really going after these bumper sticker kids, right? These kids in the middle right here, that's dyslexic kids. They're the canaries in the coal mine. You help them. You help them in core tier 1 classroom instruction, put what they need in there. Everybody wins, but instead it's all this right here. All right. Oh, now there are some folks like Long Beach who are using, like this is Wonders. They use Wonders, I believe. Wonders of Journey is one of them, and it's here, but they're getting better results, like 56% proficient now instead of 30. They come up a long way. But if you got to understand that, you can't just say that. They got to coach them all those 15 years long, and they taking first graders out of the class who can't read. And they give them 30 minutes of tutoring with reading recovery every day. So that's what that is, okay? So anybody tell you, oh, Journeys in one, please, okay? But if you want to really read and understand their thing, look it up right there, Long Beach Coaching, tiny URL, NAACP. Also, right, there are curriculum that focus on these orange kids, right? They're not calling them orange kids, but there are some out here, right? And they actually do that. Now let me and you can look it up there, tiny URL, curricular options, and you can go look it up for yourself. Then if I look at it, right, I'm gonna look at those high quality curriculum. The student achievement partners made this list. The only one I added was collaborative classroom. CKLA is like a spiral. The knowledge is so thick and dense, it's got to build one on top of the other. It's like a staircase. Well, if you just put it in your schools, what the third graders are going to do, fifth graders are going to do. They don't know any of the stuff that stuff's based on. And they're expecting you to know some things previously. Core knowledge builds on itself. E.D. Hirsch's thing. It's like a stairwell. But if you want to do it one grade level at a time. Kindergarten, then first grade, then second, third, fourth, like that. Okay. Other than that, and the evidence is not there. I did that in the last video. The evidence is not there. Then you got wit and wisdom. I liken it to jumping double dutch. Y'all know about double dutch. You got to have 2 ropes at the same time, turning just right. Right. If you don't, so they don't have a foundational skills block. You got to have another block on top of that. There's different curricular options for the skills block to teach foundational literacy. Foundational literacy skills block, that's like teaching a kid to read, right? But a teacher's got to do, that's 2 teachers manuals, 2 professional developments. That's two of everything. You got to get everything right. That's like double dutch. When somebody mess up turning the rope, it's a problem. You ain't gonna be able to jump. EL education is this. You're gonna get there, but man, you finna go, man, it's complex. It's off the chain complex. Right, and the people who are using it find that out now. They're streamlining it. They're trying to make it better. They got a flex option. They're trying to streamline it. Then you got the bridge one, ARC. That's your balanced literacy or your structured literacy. This bridges the ideological gap. So if you can't get your teachers on board to get after those orange kids, then you do this, right? It's a move towards structured literacy, but it's not structured literacy. It's still balanced literacy. Got some elements in there that I don't agree with, but whatever. If you can't get your folks to go all the way, then maybe get them to cross that bridge right there. That's like a segue program, but it's good. And it's, Black woman runs it. I love to support the fam. And then collaborative classroom. Student achievement partners didn't list them, but I do, because I've seen the results in the field, and they check all the boxes. They just don't build knowledge. They just don't really build robust knowledge, and that's important for college career readiness. So they're there. They're bookworms. It's like a layup. It's almost too easy. Almost too easy. They check all the boxes. It's the easiest program to use by far. The best student achievement results of any of these programs. Like close achievement gap. Actually close achievement gap, not cooked up studies. Like I'm gonna show you some other ones. Now, I blame them too. I went to a presentation they made to Oakland Unified. It was terrible. Different opinions on it, but I think it was terrible because it was too education-ease. Well, here's our theory of change, and man, nobody care about that. And here's a leading researcher who developed. Okay, fine, but in your world, that person's famous. Most teachers don't know who that is. So I could have done that hour-long presentation in 30 seconds. Here you go. Our program is going to be a little bit different. We have people doing different things. That's they're not familiar. That's because it's built on reading research, and it shows that Black kids are reading way, way better than these other programs. And your English language learners are reading way, way better with these other programs. Closing achievement gaps, pushing on far ahead in Virginia and Georgia and Delaware, and we got research studies and evidence up to yin yang or whatever. And if you want your Black kids to read, choose us. If you want your special ed kids to read, use us. If you want to challenge people with rigor, choose us. If you want any questions? Go to 30 seconds, and that's it. But there, because the theory of change, yada, yada, yada. So, but you know what? To their defense, to all these people's defense, the publishers say, we give them what they want. They like that talk. They like that education spin and talk and theory of change and all that type of stuff. Parents don't want to hear it. Parents want to know what works. Problem number one with all of this type of stuff, everything's set up to help the orange kids, the blue kids, not the orange kids. District leaders, staff, central office. The whole game is around these folks right here. These kids right here, nobody pay attention to them kids. And if they do, it's sloppy and complicated and complex and all this type of stuff. Teachers can't even hardly do it. 5 and 10 manuals to get one lesson. It's ridiculous. And we're too embarrassed to admit we don't really know how to teach a kid to read. In the orange, we don't know how to deal with dyslexic kids. These graduate schools ain't teach that. They're afraid to screen them because we don't know what to do when we do screen them. And we don't want to be blamed. And then we come up with all these other issues and circular arguments, charter versus district and all that. We've been arguing about charters in Oakland for 15 years, 20 years. They're going to keep arguing. Circular. It's a distraction. And I'm not saying these things aren't real, but, trauma, man, a kid who can't read is traumatized. Let me jump off and just jump into the curriculum, the publisher right here, because this is just amazing to me. So I looked at, what is it, Mifflin? No, McGraw. And Wonders is a very popular curriculum, Wonder. And so I looked at it, I looked at all these things down here, the white papers of this, none of that stuff it shows evidence. That's not studies. So I'm looking for efficacy study. So I did that and found out, oh boy, here we go. Y'all already know what's coming. I got to get them. So here's McGraw-Hill, the geniuses in McGraw-Hill and their Wonders program, which is basically it's a balanced literacy program, lots of bells and whistles on it, and but here we go. This is the evidence. This is the evidence to show this works. Okay, page 5, the evidence. Oh, it's in an academic journal. That's great. Case study. Champaign, Illinois. So I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna look at this, Miami-Dade County. But I'm gonna look at the California, because I'm in California, so I'm gonna look at this. All right, let's go. So the first thing I recognize when going through this is this disclaimer. On their analysis, the first thing they came up with was this. I knew who was gonna be in for some stuff when I saw this. Analysis is limited. Say, it's gonna be some stuff when they come with this right off the bat. The key point here is limited because the control group from comparison wasn't randomly assigned. In other words, we didn't really do a real study. And then, the improvement could have been done to a number of factors. So don't hold us to it. Don't hold us to this. We just got this disclaimer, right? And it said these positive things. Great stuff. It makes you feel good. Now, look, when you're not treated very well, and your professionalism is called into question, you know, they're playing to you, man. They're playing like a fiddle. You know, it feels good to hear somebody say, empower educators to find their own balanced instructional path. It feels good. It's affirming, you know, because there's not much else out there that's affirming for teachers. I'm gonna be honest with you. They know how to sell products. They know how to, you know, this is the feel good stuff. And the instructional path, look, we want kids to get an instructional path, right? It's not about the teachers. The fact that they even put that in there tells me all I need to know. When I start digging into it, that study North Carolina was on third graders, 239 in North Carolina. Now, I'm not knocking it, all right? It's a study, but it's only 200 and some kids in third grade. If your kids can't read, by third grade, our kids are already 2 years behind. Hello? And so that can't be it. That can't be it. Keep moving. Now, this is the one right here. Okay. 2013, the selection committee chose to adopt it. So they used it then, all right? And they talked about how they made a lot of progress. Now, look at this data. This data. And look right here, proficient, scoring proficient. Remember that. And 8 months later, on the spring test, 2014, we got these great results. Right? Look at these charts. Look at this. Look at this. Boom, boom, way up there. Now, you know, if you really look from 59% to 63%, that's 4 percentage points. They make it seem like, you know, they make it seem like they move mountains. 53, but it's a big district. So these moves, you know, maybe it is something. So moving 4 percentage points, it's not easy. So I looked at it. I went on their website for the state of Florida, and I took Miami-Dade's results every year and put it on the chart. And guess what? I found out that the state in 2013 was at 57%. Miami-Dade was 53% for third grade reading, and they went up to 56% in 2014. Now that's what they're talking about. That's what they made their chart off of right here, right? From 53 to 56%. They talk about proficiency. All right, man, this is unethical. This is you see it, right? You see it already. What about this one right here, though? The next year went down to 49%. Y'all ain't talk about that, huh? You ain't talk about that. Or if you putting this up in 2021 and you don't mention this, you don't add this caveat, that's scandalous. That's deceitful. That's scandalous. Then on top of that, they even said, 2015, 16, 17, 15, 16, 17. And look at the jump up. Look at this. In 2015, it's 198 scale score, and then 16, 17 is up here. This is a new assessment. This is they switched it up right here. It would have been ethical to say, okay, 2013 to 2015 we did this, then 2016 to 2019 we did that. That's what it would have been ethical. Instead they're comparing 2013 and 14, leaving off 15, and then doing a 15, 16, 17, when 15 is a different test. And one other thing. So educators know. So this is all based on these 3 things over here. These are the scores right here, 1 through 5. If you look at this one, 53%, that's level 5, level 4, and level 3 put together. All right, 53%. Remember, they said proficient. Educators already know this is a hustle because proficiency is usually these 2 right here. It usually is. This is your advanced. This is your proficient. These are your approaching or near or whatever. These are the ones that's behind, and these are the ones that just really don't know they A's from A, B. Look, come find out. This is from the Florida website. Yeah, that's right. Proficient is 4, and 5 is here. So they talked about reporting proficiency, and they included all 3 of these in the numbers. Oh, man, this is straight up like just bamboozled. And if you don't look, if you don't actually click on the website, but most people that say, oh, 50 something, 53%, yeah, 53% is looking at all of these right here. Really, it's 30%, 34%, 22%. And in other words, it's actually lined up. It's actually lined up with this, right? All in here. This ain't nothing different. This is this, right? But they make you think. They're going after orange kids. They're not going after those kids. Lastly, What the data actually says is this, because look, they you know, in the real proficiency scores over here, these two, 9 and 21, they're 30% and 13, 34% there, then 22. So they dropped 8 points proficiency. They went down proficiency. Okay, but the state from 13 to 15, they went down 9 points. Okay, so what the data actually says is we went down less than the district. Right? We started there, went here, then went there. Hey, our results stuck less than the state. That's what they should say. But instead, they up there talking about achievement gaps and yada, 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 yada. You say, well, these aren't the same kids here. This isn't cohort matched. Let me tell you something. In 2013, they adopted it, all right? In 14, 15, they're running with it. So these third graders just got 1 year of it. But these third graders had 3 years of it. You would expect after 3 years, your third graders will look way better and way stronger than the old third graders. Okay? But that's not the case. Now, moving on. Let's move on. So this is the Illinois one. Okay, the Illinois one. I just took, it's from a district called CU4. I just put all the elementary schools in CU4 on a spreadsheet. I just dug it up on their state website. You know, I'm here for it. And yeah, we like that. And we checking all sources. We looking for facts. Oakland teachers, you notice something on this, right? Where are your kids at on this? Right, there's 3 or 4 schools that kind of fit the profile of Oakland. This one definitely 90% poverty. That's us. Our kids, you know, more than half our schools have 90% poverty or greater. We really should be looking at this one. Maybe we could look at this one, 71%. That's not really, it's 61, 62, like, but we're gonna look at these 1, 2, 3, 4, right? High poverty schools. So those 4 I mentioned, check this out. I went and dug it up, looked at the achievement of those schools. Because you championing this in this area, in this district. Well, guess what? I didn't say which of the schools for, so I don't want to name them like that, but none of them, none of them are proficient. Man, what do you expect us to do with the NAACP when we see stuff like this? What would you do? Right? Our kids and people are considering adopting this in Oakland. What are we supposed to say? We're just supposed to sit down and shut up and take it. And when you say, oh, this has got good results in Long Beach, or this has got good results, we're supposed to take your word? Here's some more of those 4 schools. Look at these. These are just the black kids now. Look at this. And this is 4 years in. So these third graders have been doing it. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, testers. Now this is what you see. Is this what we're supposed to get happy about? And this is what they're putting, this is what that organization, McGraw-Hill, is putting on their site. They're Champaign, Illinois. This is these schools. They're actually promoting this as being evidence of that you should go buy it. Then I'm gonna look at the California one. So I came with them right now. But the one thing, so California, so they also said that there have districts in California that use their product in this charter school, right? And this is their chart. Now, folks in California and in the Bay, we already know, and it says meeting or exceeding English language arts standards. These are the kids who can read. All right. All these, look, we're not Brentwood. We're not going to compare our, you know, Brentwood is more, they got money out there in Brentwood. All right. The district on here that's kind of like Oakland is Antioch. That's pretty much, if you from out here, you know this is what it is. All right. Now, they're forget all this. Don't get caught up in all this graph. Don't get caught up in all this. It's basically saying they improved. Right. But so we're going to look at it. All right. Here's Antioch and all the rest of them. I'm going to take off the California website. Here's Antioch and all the rest of them. The ones I could get the data off of. Some of them don't have enough numbers to register or whatever. But or the data's inconsistent in different places. But these 4 laid it all out there. Now, in 2015, when they first started this thing, well, they started in 2014. So this is after a year. Now, this is the results, right? That's all fine and well. So I would expect that my third graders you know, like a couple of years from now, my third grader is going to be better because I'm starting this off full implementation. So in 2014, 15, my kindergartner started. Then in first grade, they would do it again. Then in second grade, they did some more. Then in third grade, 2017, 18, okay, I'm expecting my third graders in 2017, 18 to be better, to be stronger than that 25% from back in the day that could read. Well, what percentage do you, I mean, come on, you already know. 28%. 28%. So 4 years later, doing your program, give me 3%, a bump for kids. Well, what if, that first year in kindergarten, it was, it was new. So they didn't really get a good start because teachers got to learn it. Okay, well, what about 2018, 2019 third graders? They had a year teachers had a year to get it together first. Guess what? 28%. Man, stop playing. This is it. Then they had the nerve to promote this as being good. Oh, let's look at the black kids. That's just everybody. Let's look at the black kids. All right, let me just cut to the chase. 18% in 2015, third graders in 2018, 19. Here, 22%. All right, this is from the state of California website. 22%. Meet or exceed standards. 4 percentage points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That's 2018, 19 results. So 5 years later, your third graders are only 22%. So either you telling us our kids are broken and can't learn, or something ain't right. Something ain't right. Something's in the milk. I'm gonna tell you, put the bigotry aside and stop blaming it on our kids. Right? The soft bigotry of low expectations. Put that aside. 22%, and it's worse than you think. Because look, not only is it 22% proficient, but 52%, this orange part, that's your show enough can't read kids. That's the ones who are at the low. More than half your kids show enough can't read. Not kind of can't read or not close to being able to read. We're talking about the lowest level. This is Wonders. This is McGraw-Hill. This is Antioch School District, California. This is what it is. Now, and this is the districts in their they're shining a light on these. They brought me here. Man, so let me wrap this up. We're assuming positive intent. The community is like, look, okay, just fix it. Just fix it. But all the people who constructivist theory and the people who worship in the Lucy Calkins and units of study and it's not just one way. All those people, all those who are distracting us with the argument, the charters, and look, it's a failure of leadership. Where's the vision? You haven't told people what it is. You haven't laid it out. Look, we're gonna move away from balanced literacy. It's not working for the kids. Most of the kids don't respond to that. 65% of kids on the outside looking in, because it's rooted in whole language, the 3Q system, and all the rest of that stuff. We got to teach kids to crack the code, teach them Greek, Latin, and all the rest. You can have a culture relevant pedagogy, and at the same time, Marvin Collins was teaching Shakespeare and Thoreau, okay? And our kids were but where's the vision? Explain this to people because they don't have the skills. So they're gonna be anxious and they're gonna be confused. We need leadership to understand the importance of change management and to name it and not be scared of people and just be honest. Lastly, if after you get the information, if people defy the experts, ignore the science, reject the research consensus, rationalize the results, blame the kids and their families, refuse to examine their own learning bias and learning style and training, and decline to rigorously analyze evidence, and they push inappropriate curriculum, then by impact, they just as much a roadblock to social justice and an enemy of the underprivileged and George Wallace ever was. You don't need racist actors to produce racist outcomes, but when you know all this and you've been seeing all this and you still want to do it your way because it feels right, because it sounds right, then what we hear at the NAACP is this.
Today, I have stood where once Jefferson Davis stood and took an oath to my people. It is very appropriate that from this cradle of the Confederacy, this very heart of the great Anglo-Saxon Southland, that today we sound the drum for freedom, and I say segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
So let me just say this. If we in education do the same thing by ignoring the research and the science and rationalize, if we do all that, and if we cling to our freedoms, our academic freedom and our power of positionality in organization, and it infringes upon the human rights of our fellow man, especially the underprivileged, you are no better than your fathers. Representative Nina Turner said it right. Justice is messy. Pushing for it. We're making demands. We demand that you go beyond the cursory analysis of student achievement results when picking a curriculum that's going to impact the lives of our children. We demand that you cast aside methods that have proven to be ineffective for the majority of our kids. We demand that you stop blaming kids, calling them defective and broken and this and that, and over referring them to special ed when really your tier 1 core instruction is not meeting their needs. We demand that dyslexia be taught in graduate schools, and that teachers who don't know and coaches and principals who don't know how to support those kids, not shy away from screen them, but then also go get the training so you can support them. And McGraw-Hill, you should be ashamed of yourself. And anybody who is pushing that curriculum for a large population of Black and brown kids, or kids with dyslexia, or kids who need structural literacy, which by the way is a majority of kids that need structural literacy, it's disqualifying. Either you didn't have the time to look more closely into it, or your belief system has impacted your judgment beyond the facts. It's disqualifying. We need somebody that's responsive to community needs and the needs of our kids. And we need curriculum that works. Make the layup. If you don't pick bookworms and pick the collaborative classroom suite and maybe swap out SIPs with Be a Reader, whatever, or others, I'm sure there's other curriculum, fine. But make the layups. Control the controllables. Don't pick a curriculum that starts off being designed to only reach at max 40% of the kids. And to be honest, the curriculum companies, I'm letting it off y'all easy today. It's just McGraw-Hill, but I know what y'all told me, and I'm pushing this to everybody else. They're only doing what they think we want. They said if we made curriculum design for the other 65% of kids, they wouldn't buy it.